sick too?
Yo, I don't know what happened. Like something just hit me. My stomach was feeling weird. I was a little stopped up and everything yesterday.
That's exactly what happened to me today. I'm hoping I'll be able to go tomorrow night.
To where? To Southpaw Battle Coalition?
No, the 7-Eleven to get myself a hot dog.
Oh.
No, I'm just playing. That's exactly what I plan on doing.
Now, 7-Eleven is actually walking distance from the dark room.
So I might just give me a hot dog anyway.
Got that.
Can I take a 7-Eleven hot dog into the dark room?
Mike could get away with that.
Melodic bought a Chinello's pizza in there once. That's exactly what happened to me today.
That is a fact.
I'm hoping I'll be able to go tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be right back to normal tomorrow.
Where? Sorry, guys. For those that have tuned in, we are live. This is RVA Rap Elite, episode 43, Emcee Draft. I'm going to stop eating my chicken now.
Shout out to chicken, dog.
Shout out to the chicken. Bojangles to be exact. And we have our GMs in the building. I don't know where Cheats is. Oh, there's Cheats. Wow.
I just got on.
Wow, that was amazing.
Perfect timing.
Name brand is not present.
I think his room is open. He's doing his thing right now, actually.
Oh.
Speaker.
Well,
I'll get them.
But it should be ending. Like, he goes from 7 to 8, doesn't he?
typically.
He'll probably be in here in a little bit.
Well, he hasn't been coming, so I'm not sure if he was planning on coming.
Where is he at in the draft? What's the key thing?
My draft is wild. I got the first pick, and then I got the last
get the fourth
in the next 2 rounds.
Let's just hope name brand don't come because I'm right after.
Bryce just texted me. He's the one. He's the other person missing.
Draft. What's the key thing?
Let's pull up the draft order.
My draft is wild. I got the first pick.
Hip hop is the #1 pick.
Yeah.
And I don't think Frank's taking notes, so let me do that. And read. You are on the clock, sir.
Is this a full draft board?
Yeah, is it?
Are there any slots open?
No.
This is a full draft board. Okay.
There's about 7 slots that are open.
This man is already thinking about.
No. I'm just trying to understand what the system is.
It's an interesting draft. I can tell you
Is this a
that.
full draft board?
Hey, this. I don't think it's as deep this time.
We didn't get
Got the black George Steinbrenner over here ready to buy pick.
There's a delay.
There's about 7 slots that are open.
This man is already thinking about.
No.
Who's got YouTube up?
It's an interesting draft. I can tell you.
Oh, there it is. Randy Wilson.
Yeah.
What'd y'all say? I'm sorry.
Was that you that had
with YouTube up with the
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure I was engaging the audience and building the community.
I appreciate that.
Okay, but I'm on the clock, right?
Yes.
Gotta go with the hot hand, dog. Gotta go with the defending champ, CEO Wave, dog. Can't ever outdo
CEO Wave.
I do it.
Drafted number 1 in the first round of the episode 43 draft. Our defending champion. Our defending champion. He put up 2 30-point scores in the last episode. Definitely a worthy first draft pick. I just shared the draft with the Cypher chat, so we should see some more of them in.
Hey, Radio, is there any opportunity for commentary throughout the draft tonight?
What do you mean by commentary?
Anything.
There's always
CEO got 230. Listen, some of us have been talking about it. CEO got 230s. Got 230s. I was told that I would need to be there, but I've listened to it and shout out to him, man, for real. Shout out to him. But he got 230s.
There's no way to make this discussion without sounding bad. So I'd probably not.
Basically, what we're looking at here is another full discussion about the last draft.
No. You mean the last round, like the actual rounds and bars.
That's what I mean. The last,
not
cypher.
the draft. The actual rounds and bars.
Yeah, what we're about to see is a whole nother recap of the last cipher.
You think so?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I do.
I'm not gonna do that.
I call it now.
You really believe that? You think you could do it again?
Oh no, I think that
no. He's saying if y'all go down this road, we'll be having another recap of talking about the last cipher. Is what he's saying.
There's no way to do that and not sound difficult. So I would not do that. I'm talking to Randy. Because I know where you're going with it.
I'll just close with this. I'm just saying that we've been going for how many years now? We ain't never saw that. It's a historical moment. And if we don't talk about anything else, we talk about something that never happened. That's all. But
who's first of all, who's on the clock? Who's on the clock?
Henry.
No, Henry picked. He picked COA.
Okay.
Actually, Noah Page, I believe.
All right. So with Noah Page on the clock, they do a whole Radio in the team, right? Y'all do a recap of every cipher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Online, publicly, with the MC. In a very short, maybe Noah picks first, but I think what Randy's getting at is that y'all probably covered extensively. What was it about these 2 rounds that made them 2 of the best rounds in Rap Elite history? Because that's what you're talking about when you're talking about perfect scores. You're talking about best rounds in the history of how many years, how many rounds, right, Randy? Is that the best way to diplomatically say it?
And it couldn't have been said any better. That's all. Couldn't have been said better.
The first round, we saw excellent punching, setups, weaving in and out of not only punching, but punching with substance. We saw incredible vocal projection, tons of character on stage, performance, even out the gate. You know, I'm about to do this like I did my first body. This shouldn't take long. A lot of character. The bars were there. I don't think anybody can dispute whether or not the bars were there. The crowd reaction was there. I'm not sure what we're debating about the first round. In Sudden Death, it was the second Sudden Death verse that got the 30. I don't know if you guys have seen that verse or not, but it was more of the same. So I don't know. I mean, when we're the max is 30. When we're grading a score, it's not really based on what we've heard prior. It's based on what we're hearing at that particular time.
And hold up, does a 10 have to be that it's like the greatest thing you've ever heard ever in Rap Elite history, or that it's just a perfect verse? Like it's a great verse. Like you have achieved a great high level. I think there can be.
There's
I think
a
there can
roof
be
on it.
tens. Yeah.
Right. There that means that there could
But
be.
how? I
I've
get
given,
that.
and you got to also understand, I've given a number of 10s. So you have to ask judges that don't normally give 10s why they gave 10s.
That's a good point.
You
That's a
can't
good
ask
point.
about a 30. You
When
have
you-
to ask individuals about 10s.
That's
So
a good
I've
point.
given
That's a good-
quite
that's a
a,
good
I've
point.
given quite a many 10s.
Hey,
That's
what
a good
clears
point.
it
That's a good
up?
point.
What really clears it up for me, and I think that I heard Nick say this in one of the recaps, and is that anytime you put something in a moment piece, moments change. And so I think that's the part constructively, that a listener is going to see, because if you're there in the moment and it's fire and I get it, but I think that's the piece.
I mean, I've watched the verse back repeatedly. I would have given it the same 10 I gave it. You would have to ask somebody like Leo, who doesn't typically get 10s. Don't, you know what I'm saying? I give 10s when you earn a 10. You know what I'm saying? If it's harder to get a 10 out of Leo and he gave CO Wave a 10, you have to ask Leo. You can't ask me why all the judges gave him a 10. I can only tell you why I gave him a 10.
And let me be very
that to all the other 10s out there.
And let me be very clear. This was not anything in regards to a referendum on what CEO Wave did. It was an amazing performance.
Agreed.
The question was encapsulated in the 30s, and I know exactly what Radio's saying. I think Radio makes a really good point. I think when you look at the total body of work, which he's also saying is he gives a lot of 10s, you don't see a lot of 30s. I don't think have we ever seen 2 30s and one.
We've never seen it. What we've never seen is a 30 in sudden death. That's the thing. We've never seen a 30 in sudden death.
So then instantly what happens is it gets put in context with history, right? So, Vince Carter's...
Well, let's say historically, we don't get a lot of great sudden death verses.
Right. No, right.
Let's be real about that.
See, he's got a draft. He's got a draft. We're going to be here all night.
The thing is, it's the same thing in hip hop. Like, everybody gets caught up in comparing something to another thing instead of just taking that one moment and giving it what they think it is. Like, it's all like a game of comparison, competition, like who did better.
Because if I had to consider every other verse prior to giving a score, then maybe I would have to be like, oh, well, maybe I can't do that because I might have should have gave somebody else a 10.
And that's too much for you to hold on to.
Right, you can't do that. And is exactly right. And that's exactly what we do in hip hop. Like, if you remember, the Purple Tape wasn't a 5 mic source album. They had to go back and revise the 5 mic source system. Source did it and said, "Oh, the Purple Tape."
Same thing with Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah. So it's like, I get it, but that's what we do in hip hop. There's a context that gets placed in. Randy and I were just talking about this earlier on the phone with shout out to Radio B and in the album that he just dropped. Amazing album, dropped at midnight. And after we listened 1 or 2 times, the next question we moved on to, and we won't do this here, but where does this rank in Radio B's album list? Like, in the discography of Radio B. And we had a really good back and forth about, is it better than Whole Foods? Is it better than Never Fall Off? Where is it here? And the interesting thing about that is, like what Radio was saying, you should judge these projects in the moment, but instantly, analysts and critics and writers and bloggers and hacks like us are instantly going to be like, where does it rank? Probably shouldn't do that, but that's where we were. That's where we were on the phone today.
And I think that's a little easier to do when we're talking about an individual and a discography in a catalog, and that's still opinionated and subjective, even in that respect.
All of it is.
You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about probably 1,000 verses. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's easy to say, though. I think it's in the same vein. You say, is this better than this other 29? It's all right. We got to draft. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We got to draft. We have to draft. Noah Page, it's on you.
All right. Well, shit. I mean, though, if anybody doesn't know the song that CO verse was from in Sudden Death, you should listen to his music, though. I gotta say that. But
it was written?
Yeah, that was from one of his songs.
Oh, you might have Yeah, you kind of hurt his legacy. Yeah.
Never mind. Let's keep going.
It's fair. It's bars. It's his bars, though. It's his bars.
Bars.
So okay, so I'm gonna draft Islam Rap God.
Woo!
Number 2.
Hey, Islam Rap God. You know, I would definitely say out of a lot of the new people, CO Wave and Islam Rap God have been some of the most entertaining characters and MCs that have come across the platform. It's dope to see him get drafted higher because definitely I think he's made some fans in his short time here. Next up, Lil Rock. So I'm assuming because Frank didn't say we received any lists. No one sent me any lists. I'm assuming that Rock did not send a list. I'm hoping he didn't send a list because I don't have it. And so we'll be moving on. The name brand would have been next. He's obviously not here. No list. Randy Wilson.
I moved from the 5th to the 3rd. That's great. I feel like I got the number 1 draft pick. Taking Trey Authentic.
I already typed it in.
Thank you, sir.
I expected that. Going 3rd to Team Randy Wilson, Trey Authentic. Next up, Kane.
Yo, what up, everybody?
What's going on, sir?
Chilling. Let me look at my list. Oh, nice. We sitting pretty. Okay. Let me go Key Speech.
Key Speech. 4th to Team Kane. Always a threat. Always right.
His time is coming, yo. I really feel it. I feel like he's leveled up the last few times he's appeared.
He's the main dude I've been rooting for. Like he's got a win coming. He has to.
Facts.
And the symbol.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go 804 Rail.
804 Rail. A return. We haven't seen 804 Rail in quite a while. Always a super consistent MC, always at the top of the heap. Glad to see him back. It's going to Team Symbol. And Eli.
Okay. I'm gonna take Wansky. Let me get Wansky.
Definitely not a surprise there. Dr. Wansky has won. He's one of the few people that have a championship this season. He's consistently at the top of the pool of MCs. Going to Team here, RBA. Bryce is not here. He had texted me. I asked him if he was getting on. He did not respond. So I have to assume that Bryce is not going to be with us. At least not yet. Cheats.
I can get Real Life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's easy. Done.
Another champion this season, a 2-time champion overall, Real Life. Shameless plug, he will be battling tomorrow night at Ain't Nobody Scared in the Dark Room versus Deontay Ellis. Make sure y'all pull up for that. But yes, Real Life going to Team Cheats. So we are already in the second round. So Cheats, it's on you again.
Right. Now it gets tricky, only because, attendance matters, right? Like this is where it gets into who's actually going to show up versus who's the most available person on the board, right? All right. I'm gonna go. Hold on, real quick. Talk amongst yourselves.
You got to go to his draft board.
No,
Yeah, radio.
no, it really is. I wish outside of the actual scores, I wish I could see how many like the actual attendance roster, right? Like, you know what I mean? Because the last month was
You got to
difficult.
know that, Cheats. You got to know that.
You have to know that. You have to
You
know
gotta
who's
know
going to
that.
show. Ooh.
Yeah, radio. Congrats on the new release, man. That
The
was
new release, congratulations,
super
Radio
dope.
Beam.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Very
Thank you.
enjoyed that listen.
Fire.
Andrew, did you drop something?
Who, me?
Yeah.
The day before, yeah.
Is it an album or instrumental tape?
It's an EP.
Man, you
I
got
played it live in Scuffletown Tuesday night, and then dropped it on streaming platforms Wednesday at midnight.
Congratulations. I owe you a
Word.
listen.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I knew I saw it.
Either listen, I say either listen to it late at night or first thing in the morning.
Okay.
You know what? All right, I'm ready to make my decision. I'm gonna go Pop Burner.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Pop Burner.
That is a solid pick. Pop Burner's been getting better and better each
He's
month.
been getting better and better. He's consistent. He's again. This is the key: is who's gonna show up and who's gonna show out. I'm going Pop Burner.
I like it. Bryce. Oh no, Bryce. Eli.
I think it's C'est La Vie. Is that? I
Yep,
think
C'est
C'est
La
La
Vie.
Vie. Yeah.
A new MC.
Fredericksburg 540.
Yeah, dope.
I saw he's from Spotsylvania or Fredericksburg area. So I was, damn you, Eli.
Sorry, man. I did a little research today, and you know.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know about him before today, but I was like, oh shit, and he's from the hometown. He's
Really
pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Well,
It's a good. It's a good
hope
pick.
it works
It's a good
out.
pick.
I think it will.
All right. And
We'll keep it in the family and go Mukaso.
Cuzzo.
Is that your Cuzzo?
Yeah, Mukaso's my cousin.
Okay, Cuzzos. All right.
But that's not why I drafted him.
So his name is
Nah, he's dope. I drafted him the first time or the second time he was.
he
was
did
in
really
the
good.
title.
Also, he did.
Yeah,
You did dope that second time. So he did good the first time, but he was even better the second time.
yeah. I knew getting on stage wasn't a new thing for him because I see he's a stand-up comic. So I was like, oh yeah, that'll probably translate, and it did.
It did.
Same thing with Apple Brown Betty, right? She's standing
Yeah.
up.
It's wild if you listen to Moo and Introverts together, they sound like Run the Jewels.
Oh,
Like if you ever had an opportunity to hear them two together, really pay attention to it.
That's crazy. Kane, it's on you.
All right. I'm gonna go. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the homegirl Madam V. I don't know if I
it's a good pick, man. It's a good
have
pick.
drafted her before, but yeah, I mean that's solid for where we are right now in the draft. I think that's a steal. She's been consistently getting better each time, and I think she's due for, a high score, head to sudden death. I feel it.
She's focused.
Yeah,
She definitely has a different focus on and an approach to how she's putting her verses together. So strong pick. And Randy Wilson.
C Spicy.
See Spicy.
My guy,
See
the
Spicy.
honky killer,
Put
Good.
the honky killer.
Man, cut the beard off and stop playing games.
See Spicy had a breakout performance last time too.
Facts. Yeah. So yeah, that's who I was going between right there.
we was on the same wave. The only difference between you and me, Kane, is that I put him with some championship DNA. So now it's
Stop
really
it.
bad. Take him to
Stop
the next
it. Talk. We'll talk to him. We'll get him on your podcast and we'll talk to him about what was the better experience, Team Kane or Team Randy, because I already know I put in time with my guy. You know what I'm saying? And a little effort.
I appreciate you getting ready, man.
His standout performance. So
thank you. Thank you, man.
No, I should. We'll see. We'll see, Randy.
All right. Sorry. Noah Page.
Didn't know.
Wait, is Noah gone?
I don't see him no more.
Oh no.
Yeah, he is gone. I don't know if that's on purpose or what.
Yeah, boom. On to the next.
Back
Cold blooded.
Yes, he does have a clock of a minute and a half. Wouldn't just
Okay.
say. I imagine.
I can't imagine that was on
Who would have the next pick if he's not around for this one, so they can start thinking about it?
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
I got a couple dudes in mind.
I'm not even gonna get a pick in the third round, I don't think. No.
Nah, yeah, no, once I get this pick done, I gotta run in here and set up anyway. I'm spending a half a pizza tonight.
Big Rich.
Man.
So for those of us who will not get a pick in this draft, does that mean that we can go recruit our own, or we got to take what come later? Or how's that work?
You still have to buy your spot, right?
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna recruit your own, you have to buy the spot, right?
You're saying if you don't get a pick, why would you not?
No, you're gonna get a pick.
We got a full draft?
Because
all y'all, everybody here.
Don't worry, it's still a whole bunch of rap.
There's enough MCs to fill up these teams.
Oh, I didn't know we had enough people.
Smell good, don't it?
We have
smell good, don't it?
What the hell?
22, 23 MCs. What was that?
I don't know what's
good.
happening.
Smell good, don't it?
What?
That was you, hip hop. That was you.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Hip hop.
Yo, did anybody take 804 Rel?
Yes.
Yep.
I did.
All right. Yo, let me get Chef Token.
Oh, that's a steal. Chef Token is another MC that's been really, really pushing up. He's focused. He's definitely focused. If you haven't been paying attention, this could be the moment that you wish you did. All right.
Yeah.
Final round.
Yo, I gotta slide out of here, fellas. If any of y'all free, come through Hot for Pizza. We gonna celebrate Big Rich birthday tonight.
All right, bro.
God bless.
Peace.
Big Rich. Peace. All right, this makes it a little bit easier for you guys. Sorry. And
I'm gonna go Dub T.
Oh, you said Dub T?
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, that means my whole team is all just comeback kids this time.
Especially in the third round. I mean, Dub T is a top 20 MC from season 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That dude is real nice. Like, I just like his style of styling, like nothing I ever heard before, really.
Kane.
Me, okay. This is a kind of a tough spot. All right. I'm gonna go with Baloo.
Who?
Baloo.
Baloo.
Wasn't he like a number 2 overall pick last
Noah
time?
picked him.
Yeah, like I want to say like overall though, like number 2, right? First round.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a steal, man. Congratulations.
Guys, this is and
I mean, any GM would be happy for you to get that move.
I agree.
I'm saying like in the war room, people are all quiet. I'm like, that's a great pick. That's like overall, like first round, second or third overall pick.
But I mean, the scores gotta match the number.
Right. I'm not sure what the scores
what was the score?
Came out to be when he was drafted to. I don't know. But I've seen him.
Yeah.
He's dope.
I do think Baloo is definitely a strong pick to be getting in the third round for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I feel good about it.
Who's up?
Eli.
I can't believe he's still on the board. Let me take Kilo Kai.
Kilo Kai 757. I think honestly, Eli, I think that's a attendance pick. I don't think that's
No, I knew what you were thinking earlier. I knew exactly what you were thinking.
I don't. No, I'm saying that he's not third round talent. He's much better than third round talent. But the question is, making those drives. A lot of things seem to be happening this summer. Not with him, just with anybody. Like
I know, and I got 2 Virginia Beach people and a Fredericksburg person. I got all outer touters this week.
Right. That's it. I mean, that's that's the question.
Hey man, I'm trying to fend you off.
You got to, because I'm coming.
Speaking of cheats, it's on you.
Yes, it is. Just a quick question. Oh, okay. Yep. No, I got it. Yeah, I know the answer. Music Makes Me High 84 is 804 Rel. He's on. I know he was off the board. He always throws me off. Ooh, I got a tough one between 2 MCs that's on my board. And I'm gonna tough one between 2 MCs on my board. I'm gonna go. You know what? Third time's a charm, I hope. I'm gonna, and in the sense of like getting that work in, I'm gonna go Mickey Biz.
That's a strong pick for the third round.
I'm gonna go Mickey Biz. It was between two others that are on the board. I know one is consistently present and strong, but I think the upside on Mickey Biz in this pick is I'm going Mickey Biz.
Strong pick. And Randy.
Just for quick, can I get we're down to like, I see Jamal on the board and I see trying to get back to my list. Old Dirty Vega's on the board. Who else is on the board? Fun's on the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I think I agree with Cheats. I wish we'd seen an attendance piece because that would really help my last decision. Need to add another stat.
When are you showing up?
We need another stat.
If you show up, showing up is half the battle.
Yeah, I think what I'm going with Jamal.
It's a good pick. That was I was wrestling with that one. Jamal or Mickey Biz. I was wrestling with that one.
Wait, hold on.
You got a list?
Oh shit.
Draft over. Start it up. Reorder.
Are you serious?
No, we can't do that. He's just somebody's just gonna have to be at the bottom. They're gonna be asked out. The teams are picked now.
Having an executive order put in place here. The era.
The teams are picked. They're just gonna have to make some compensation from the front office if a list came in.
Cheats is our general GM union president. Just so
Yeah, Players Union Association. Field of Dreams.
Radio scaring me though right now. He's quiet still.
He's very quiet. The commissioner's very quiet right now. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I did not see someone confirm their participation in the cipher.
Oh,
there's a person open, not a pick.
Oh,
a person is in the cipher.
Dang.
That could be major. Who is it?
Depends on who it is.
If I'm still within my 2 minutes, I can change my pick.
No, you can't. You already made a pick.
I'm still within my 2 minutes.
No, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Vikings picked. They can't be like Dante Culpepper. I'm still in my 2 minutes.
I can take it back.
No, you can't.
I would vote that person can't be eligible for the draft. That would be my vote. But who is it?
because there are other people that are in the draft that will be getting divvied out to teams. Shit, man.
Who's the person?
Well, Randy, who was your pick?
He's picked.
I haven't made a decision yet.
What was his pick?
I'm within the 2 minutes.
That doesn't matter.
What was his pick?
Jamal. It was Jamal.
Jamal.
It was Jamal.
I didn't even say anything. She's speaking for me. You can't do that. I didn't say anything. I have not picked yet right now.
And Eli, help me out here. Did he
not pick yet?
So you trying to say that I'm delirious?
I'm saying, listen, I'm within my 2 minutes.
He may know.
I'm within my 2 minutes.
You ain't get 2 minutes 6 minutes ago.
I would not be able to in good faith allow you to have access to this particular MC.
It's Mila.
Or any MC that was not on the draft list.
Is it Mila?
I just want to know who it is.
Is it Mila? Vintage A.
This person should just not be in the draft or the teams. Like even if somebody gets assigned like later, like they're just wrapping.
Somebody paid their money
because you know it's a talent. You
can't pay your money to win and not put him in the eligibility.
Yeah, I can't do that because if other people sign up after this, they would also be distributed to teams. So this MC would fall right into that spectrum.
And to be distributed into teams?
Yeah, if somebody like
I'm just saying, like, just make this one person like not on anybody's team on purpose, even if
I can't do that.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
No, because
they paid to win. They got to participate.
They want to be,
No, I mean they can, do the cipher and battle. They're just not on Randy's team or my team or Chief's team.
They're not going to be on any of your teams. They'll be on. Unfortunately, they'll end up on teams of people who are not present. Unfortunately.
Well, it's like Noah Page will probably get them.
I mean, it's basically
it'll go to depending on orders. It'll go to either hip hop or Noah.
Real talk. As long as it's not Elijah, I really don't care. Like,
no,
it can't be on Elijah's team. If it's on Elijah's team, all hell's breaking loose.
You don't even know who it is.
Whoever this person is going to Noah.
I'm guessing it's either Vintage A, Mila Mansell, or there's somebody else I know.
It doesn't even. It's not even fair for.
Hey, can you announce it? Just
is it a former champion?
Give them some credibility.
It's vintage.
I mean, the draft is over. You might as well just tell it.
Vintage?
It's vintage. It's vintage. It's vintage.
Y'all some haters, man. It was my pick.
No, you already picked.
Yeah, it's all good though.
He's about to buy the draft pick of the team. It's at the end.
Look at me. Look
no
at
problem.
me.
Just talk shit
hello.
Later.
Oh, hello, guys. Cheats here.
Hey, for real.
Ready to win.
I mean, the way I look at it, the way Noah be playing the game, he might be open for a trade.
He might be straight up.
I actually believe that. I kind of see that happening. But somebody else.
We'll trade for the underdog.
Trades are part of the game. Look, if you're not racing, if you're not rubbing, you're not racing. Can't wait.
Yeah, I feel bad. Definitely feel bad about that. Feel like it kind of cheated all of you.
Who is it? Did we already determine that? Is it Vintage?
It was
Yeah,
Vintage A.
Vintage.
Okay.
Feel like I cheated y'all. Feel like I cheated Vintage.
You know, you did. You did.
I did.
It's all right.
And I definitely got
That's a high
cheated.
score.
You know
Good
what?
for Noah.
You should have been worried about last month cheating Vintage because I think he got cheated then with his score in his round. Vintage deserved to win.
Well, I mean, even with Vintage, Noah still only has 2 people.
Oh, that's true.
If he gets another one, he can score real high. Depending on who it is. I just hope he doesn't give it to somebody else.
Yeah, he gave Trig away last time, but did Trig not show up? Did Trig show up last time?
Nah, Trig didn't show up until the very end of the Versus Cypher.
That was a good gift. He gave it to Little Rock, I think. He gave him a 0. Sense of humor. Just say.
And the real conversation now is getting close down to MVP. Vintage getting back in it. How many championships he got this year? 1?
1.
Trey got 3.
Yeah.
It's Trey. I mean, right now it's Trey. Anybody else got 2?
Everybody else has 1.
Oh, dang.
It's Trey Authentic.
CO, and Vintage all have 1.
How many sessions do we have left?
Including this one, there's 3.
It's Trey Authentics to lose. I mean, it's Trey Authentics to lose at this point. And you know how disrespectful it is for Trey Authentic to get drafted. Where was he drafted this draft?
Low.
What number?
3rd. Yep.
Disrespectful. Trey Authentic, I just want you to know if you were on Team Cheats and I had the first pick, I'd have picked you first. Just letting you know. I'm just messing with y'all. But it is his to lose. I think he's consistently got the wins, but not only the wins, he consistently shows up and consistently shows out. And I think he's just been, the best player, the best MC throughout this 2022 season. Is there anyone outside Vintage A? Is there anyone that you can say outside of maybe Trey and Vintage that show up, show out just about every time, and has the
Keith Speech?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I love Keith Speech. I love Keith Speech.
Vintage was out for, a lot this season. He actually wasn't in the open cycle very much. Hey.
So that's a good point. There's a good chance because Keith Speech is what he's missed 1 or 2. He hasn't missed that many.
I say in that conversation you'd be talking about Wansky in real life.
And Wansky, I think
Wansky in real life. Yep.
Wansky or real life can have a moment. They can have a moment, and it can be their night.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Wansky especially, real life especially. I'm with you. So yeah, that was a strong overlook. Wansky, real life. I think right under Trey Authentic. Keith Speech, maybe Vintage under them.
My opinion about the difference between a moment that Wansky or real life could have versus a Keith Speech, and Keith Speech has had some great performances.
I think
anybody
that has a gripe with the scores overall is Keith Speech.
Yeah, I think he's had great performances because he's had great content. But I think that the difference between the performances and is going to be, to me, it's the stage presence and how you kind of demand the respect of the crowd and get in the crowd engagement. Radio just said something about crowd engagement or something before, and I think that's the difference between them.
I think with Keith Speech, it's always sudden death, right? I think his first rounds are always ones that put him in the sudden death, right? And then he hasn't gotten out of a sudden death, right? With the win.
No. He doesn't.
His first rounds are strong.
His first rounds are strong. He doesn't always get to sudden death.
No. His first rounds are, because you can tell he works on them. You can tell he works to get that. You know what I mean? That first verse off. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
All right, gentlemen. Well, mighty
All right.
quiet. Mighty
I
quiet.
appreciate. Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on the
Happens. Everybody's human. Oversights. It happens. It happens. It happens. Giving you grace. This is also probably one of the busiest weeks in your life in 2022, at least.
yeah.
So there's a lot going on. Radio, plug your stuff.
Yeah, definitely Southpaw Battle Coalition tomorrow.
What are the main events? Like plug it, really plug it. We got
the main event. The main event is Big Genia versus Habib for the world title. Want to let everybody know, please get there early. That battle is happening second. So if you plan on seeing it, do not think it's going to be the last thing that's going on tomorrow night. It's going to be one of the first things to occur.
That's smart. Real smart. That's real smart. Strategically, for real.
You gotta get in there and see it. Another thing that's going to be going on that's pretty headlining on that card is a song battle between Trig and Chance Fisher.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I cannot call that one because both of them have such strong songs. Like, haven't seen both of them perform recently. Good Lord, like, it's going to be a difficult one to judge.
Are they playing their songs or performing them?
Performing them.
Oh.
Performing the songs. The audience is the judge of that.
They both got that crazy energy too. That's the thing.
And we also have
if they bring their crowds with them, bring their supporters with them. That would be key.
That would be key. Will Young versus Jordan Bailey going down tomorrow. They are in a 4-man eliminator for the River City title, which is Jay Moore's title that he's vacating. So the winner of that will go on to the next round of that. We also have Sun versus Nate Gibbs. That's also going down tomorrow. So we got Sun versus Nate Gibbs. We got Habib versus Genia. We also have Real Life versus Deontay Els. If anybody has caught the footage from Run My Fade, they're very familiar with Deontay Els. If you haven't, I would definitely suggest going and checking out his battle against Sun. It was his debut battle. They've been talking a lot. Real Life and Deontay Els. I'm very interested in that. It's a good style clash. So tomorrow night's going to be crazy.
At what time?
I got a question for Ant.
Battle started 7.
On the sound clash. You've been thinking a lot about the Trig versus Chance Fisher sound clash, right?
Yeah.
My question is Chance is Chance gonna do new stuff? Because here's the thing. We know Trig just dropped the album, the Spread Love album. We know what that's all about.
No,
I know Chance
Trig has another album coming out.
Right, but my question is what is it? 3 songs, right? Radio?
Yeah.
3 songs. Yeah, 3 songs.
I know Chance has songs and he has charisma and all that, but is it going to be new stuff? Like, I'm wondering what Chance can bring outside of his performance, which is, crazy. But it's like the actual material, Spread Love hit pretty hard just recently, right? And I mean, not, within a relative time period. Has Chance released new stuff?
Everybody is familiar with this stuff. Like, the way I'm thinking about it is like, think about a versus. Like, Bone Thugs and Harmony didn't come on there and play all new stuff. They played the classics. They played stuff that people are familiar with to get a reaction from the crowd. And I'm assuming that they're coming to do the same thing here.
It's gonna be. That's a good one. I just went online and I was like, let me look at Chance, because I know Chance's music. I was looking at the portfolio and I was like, wait a second, let me see what he's getting, what he's gonna bring.
And knowing both of their music and what both of them are coming out with soon, either way, it's difficult.
It's difficult. And radio, you're not done. Radio being friends, right? So we got
Yes,
the
absolutely.
album, Southpaw, radio being friends.
On Monday, we have Radio Being Friends, and Sunday Service Soul Food. Hell of a lineup when we talk about Radio Being Friends. We're talking about myself. I'll be performing Stranger Things with Classical Revolution live with the string quartet and the band. Yes,
That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be crazy. We just
That'd be
had
fun.
rehearsal last night. Rep and Skinny Hendrix are performing, Oleander. We got D Folks performing, we got K Taurus, we got Noah O, we got Noah O and Francois, we have Shonda Davis, we have Teresa Cook, we got Rock Stages, we got Smith Knight, we got Sneeze, we got Sarone, we got Armani, we have Saint. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, we have Zay Jackson also. Yeah, so E's a Leo, last but not least. E's a Leo also performed. So yeah, it's gonna be a crazy, crazy Radio Being Friends. That starts at 7 o'clock at Sunday Service Soul Food as well. And of course, I have the album out. Stop Looking for Noise. Great reception. I appreciate everybody's time. Produced by Don Dubious, mixed and mastered by Michael Millions. My niece Armani also helped with the mix.
Your titles hit hard, always.
Huh?
Your titles always hit hard. Like,
oh, thank you.
Name your albums with extreme care.
I definitely think very intently about how I title albums. That's a super important thing to me. It helps me actually craft my albums. I'm not a huge like conceptual person when it comes to like making songs. Like I don't do a lot of like, I'm gonna make a song that's about this. Like I don't really make songs like that, but I do make albums with a certain framework, and that framework usually starts with what I decide to title it.
That was perfect. Like the album came out fantastically.
I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Don Dubious. He did an incredible job with the production. This is his first outing. I don't think he even has a song out with anybody.
Really, he could, just based on what I've heard from him, like at the Producers Lounge and on that album, he's quickly climbing up to be one of my favorite producers around here.
For sure, absolutely. And I mean, people are, there's people that have been, it's people that have been a part of my creative process since the very beginning. We're talking like Illa Styles, who recorded my first recording. We're talking Name Brand, who I was the first person to rap on a Name Brand beat. Brand's been right there under us since we first put out our first tape in high school. These are people that are adamant that this is my best project to date. So that conversation that y'all were having, I'm interested in hearing. I'm interested in hearing people's conversation. I'm not here to rank my music. I may at some point, like Hov eventually ranked his albums. I don't want to do that right now. I'm still focused on,
It's not really your job.
It's not my job. It's not my job.
It's me and Randy's job. We've already done it. So congratulations.
It's not my job. I'm too attached to
right.
all
You can't be unbiased, right?
Right. Me and Cheats had a good.
I have a bias towards all of them. That's the point. That's the thing.
But even with Hov, he will say you got to get in the Reasonable Doubt Black Album blueprint. Like you got to get in that his right. albums. You got to push them out. I think from the outside looking in, I think people realize that he has an emotional attachment to Reasonable Doubt. And he's already explained the reasons why. That's 26 years of his life versus everything after, like the album.
Right.
So it's these moments where it's interesting because there are parallels in every artist. And Randy and I was talking about this. But from a person that's not as emotionally attached to the project, you have to beat certain albums and projects. And I think the interesting thing about, we were talking about this, there is a real strong line of demarcation in the moments when Radio B puts out albums. So for example, Jesus Never Wears a Suit. He was in a specific place in a specific moment that was completely different than Whole Foods. It's just a different space, different moment. And so critics, not radio, but critics have to judge the music as is based off of how it relates to them and the person that's doing the judging, right? Right. But if you're close to certain processes, you realize where somebody was.
Right.
Where you understand why radio
has a big effect for you. It makes it personal.
Right. You understand what radio was. So one of the things Randy and I were instantly talking about was, he was like, where do you rank this one? And I was like, for me, it's going to be very tough because you have to beat Whole Foods, one, and then you have to beat what I think Radio and I talked about this, but I was like, then you have to beat Never Fall Off for me. And so,
and you know what's so crazy that you say that, because I feel that Never Fall Off is actually my most slept on album.
It is. No, it is. It's not, you don't have to think that. It
ranks high up. I guess I have ranked my music to some extent. But you know what? It's all because of my intention with it. But like I have, Never Fall Off ranks high up on my personal list. And I don't think that people speak on it very often.
I think it's, but I also, so because we were just talking about this and earlier today, and Brady will attest that I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah.
The Never Fall Off product, if you were on the outside looking in and didn't know anything else about Radio B, his movement, his moments, his places where he was when he writes his albums, sonically, Never Fall Off is so special to me. It is like, it is by far the, I think, and there's a lot that go into it, but I think that's a very tough album. If you put that album with all the other albums of people that are not familiar with everything that goes along with Radio B, you just said album for album, which one's better? I think you get a different answer, because the way that Radio presents his music, there are emotional connections to Jesus Never Wears a Suit, to Whole Foods, to All Art Ain't Pretty, and even this album. There's different kind of time periods, emotional. What did we say, Randy, on the phone? I was like, you don't get this album. You don't get. Yeah,
you don't get what you got now if you didn't.
If you don't go, you don't get, obviously, the last album if you don't go through 2020. But you don't get this album, God bless. You don't get this album if, Moms doesn't pass. You don't get this album if, you don't get married. You don't get this album if, you know what I mean? You're in a different place.
For sure.
It's like, but on the surface.
It's all trapping lightning in a bottle or capturing, snapshotting where I'm at that particular time.
Right. And so, And so we know all of that, and as people that are close to you, we know where mentally you were society wise, and it's like, so sonically, Never Fall Off is different, but when you're putting up like where we were movement wise when Jesus Never Wore a Suit came out, you know what I mean? That's a whole different. And then
I think that's important to say where we were all at sonically. That plays a role in how the production is received and when people are listening to music in hindsight, because everybody doesn't get on the Radio B journey at the same place. So like some people
I can definitely speak to that, because the first album that I heard, like really knowing you as a person, was All Ain't Pretty.
Wow.
So anything before that?
Yo, see, that's what I'm saying. That's so important.
Wow.
And,
like, of course I knew who Radio was.
No, that's a big wow.
That's great.
Like, before All On Ain't Pretty, I couldn't just text radio anytime I want to.
Right.
But
See, that's the thing, because we're doing all this calling, and I might be
So,
the
yeah,
only
let me
one.
throw mine in
I
there.
might be the only one on here that listen to Live Good, Be Great.
So this is the thing. I threw mine was this. Before I became immersed in Radio B as artist from his music catalog, I was aware of Radio B from Versus, Tuesday Versus. So this album resonates with me because to me it's like it's a full circle where I see the origin of from my foundation and seeing his music is there's some floweriness to it. And I don't know if I don't know the best word to use, but it's like, I remember radio from a spoken rapper type of perspective. And that's and he was like the only one of the only hip hop artists in Versus. So to see this album, and I texted him, I told him, I said, there's a few things with this project that stand out to me. First off, I know it's right for me because I can tell your hip hop influences through this track. You can smell them, you can taste them, you can feel them. I know I have an idea of, and I already knew that anyway, but everything else Cheats already said. I mean, the marriage, the passing of his mother. I think that everyone knows, and radio knows this. Radio puts music out more frequently than some of his crew, but this album, it seems to me that he took a different amount of time with it. Like, I think someone could argue and say
I wish I could say that was the case. I don't know if I wish I could say that was the case, but I wish I could say you're correct in that distinction. Mike was just on live this morning and he was like, yo, this album was done in like a week and some change.
And if you hadn't said that, I never would have known it.
Because,
this came from a very specific moment. And you seem to take your time with it. Because I remember when I dropped Emotions back in 2018, that was 3 years in the working because of different things that were going on. Like,
I knew that. I knew.
Yeah, we lost Sleeves at that point.
Yep.
I just got on with Gritty City and all them. And my late 20s were just different. Like,
I was gonna say, you can keep it real because you were going through something. I think we talked about this around the time. And around the time the project came out. And I think you told me it took that long because you were going through like life.
Yeah, exactly.
There was life that was happening.
And then that album didn't drop until I was 30.
Yeah.
Because I was comfortable with, for some odd reason, when I woke up on my 30th birthday, I was just like at ease with everything.
That might be it though. Like, there's a comparison that you guys are making is that you'd already got through something. And with radio, the past couple of years have been rough. I mean, even before his mom passed, he was working. I mean, he was going through it. I mean, like, it was a long time of you taking care of your mom. So like, maybe as a fan, as a listener, as a critic, we're looking at it, we're saying, okay, maybe radio's in a different piece right now with himself, because through the music, it sounds like it took some time.
You know what's so funny?
Maybe
let me tell you, I made this distinction to myself, and let me see if I can word it how I came about it. There's things where people put a lot of time into. They require a lot of time to be put into making a good piece of art, right? They have to work on it for a long time. Then there's people that show up because it took a long time or a lot of things to go on in their life for them to just show up and present that album. Like, so for me, I went through a lot to be able to just put that album together or express that within a week and some change. Obviously, like my whole life, craft-wise, I've gotten to a point where talent and skill-wise and capability-wise, I can do that. But for me to be able to like spew all of that out, it was just a lot that was there. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot. it was a lot for me to be able to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And the music for me also, it comes down to like my readiness to sit down and write, and the music being an inspiration to that. And I have to credit Don Dubious for that.
That's where I can't really speak to your process because I'm never doing the writing. Like, yeah, I lay a platform, find how the whole thing is gonna sound, and I choose who I'm gonna have on it based on that. But writing it yourself is a whole different thing.
Well, the interesting thing is, and like I said, we talked about, Randy and I talked about this earlier. Radio as a lyricist, as an MC, as a way that radio kind of delivers in what he does, he's better now than he's ever been. He's better now. He's just like the way you were what you were describing, what you were just saying, like you without you directly saying it, you are better now than you were 5 years ago. You are better at articulating video. Yes, you're just a better MC. The interesting thing, because Randy and I were talking, like I said, we're talking about this. That is actually not debatable in my eyes. I don't think it's debatable in Randy's eyes. He's a better MC, lyricist, like writer now. The question is the project put in context, because again, he's a better MC and a better artist than he is now. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything marries up. No, I'm not saying that this project doesn't, but it doesn't mean that everything marries up to be the best product he's made, right?
That's not saying these are the best verses.
No, I'm saying like what I'm saying now is like Nas. Nas is actually probably a better MC today than he is when he made Illmatic. Doesn't mean that the albums he makes today are better than Illmatic. Yeah. Does that make sense? He's a better
his natural MC. Growth as a person.
Right. He's a better MC today. But the interesting thing, going back to some of the parallels, and Radio and I are both giant Hove fans, and we kind of look through a lot of hip hop in general through the eyes of Hove. This is the closest. The new project is the closest to a 444 type project than
I said that earlier.
Projects, and it's not. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're Hove fans, but it's not that. It's a maturity base of where Radio is in understanding himself and how he delivers and what he wants a project to sound like. And so, and that's again the interesting thing that I didn't know that until Radio said it too about the time. But if you listen to Hove talk about 444 and all these deep songs and all the stuff that he put on that album, him and No ID did it in a few days. It was like Radio was saying, you live all through all this stuff and, marital issues and seeing gentrification in his hometown, all of this. But when him and No ID actually got into rock, it was not a lengthy process. 444 didn't take years to create. And it seems like there's some parallels there. The last thing I'll say in regards to just when we're talking about the moments in the catalog stuff, and one of the things I was so interested in, and what you were saying about All Art Ain't Pretty was kind of the first thing that you kind of knew who, like some of the process and what we were going through and so forth. I did not know Radio during Live Good, Be Great. But I went back after Whole Foods. I think my first real album introduction to you was Whole Foods. That
was my album introduction to him.
Right. When I went back though and listened to Live Good, Be Great, and then listen to the new album.
I got Live Good, Be Great.
And which is
Live Good, Be Great is actually Live Good, Be Great is actually on streaming platforms now. I just put it on
Tidal. Yeah.
It wasn't before. And I think that's an interesting
that isn't it though, when you think about where you were though. Where you were during Live Good, Be Great, which was 2011, right?
And we can go back further than that.
Not online.
We just can't do it on. We can't do it on platforms, right?
But if I was gonna say, if look at what,
but you will be able to do that on KillTheDreamer.com soon. So I am gonna upload all old mixtapes and projects to KillTheDreamer.com.
I would absolutely love to do like a chronological journey through your discography.
No, I would love that.
That would take too long.
Hey,
we have like
with
we
plenty
have
of artists. I got
look,
time.
we have ESPN. What is it? ESPN. Last Dance. We'd have like 7 parts. We'd have to have like an hour for each.
Hey,
like
man,
now,
I'm working home. I can do
right
it.
now he's like, now we have the climb hour. Talk to me about where you were with the climb. Talk to me where you were.
Yeah, no, I'm anxious for Ant to go back because Ant is really he's really like a music lover and he fucks with this rap shit. You know what I'm saying? So people would think that I would be like offended by that. Me, I get excited by shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I get excited because I know what's back there. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what's back there. Like I actually look at it like when people say, "Oh, this is your best album," I'm like, cool, because maybe a lot of people will treat it that way, and it'll do something more than any of my previous albums will do. See, I've lived my whole career like with the thought of one day there's going to be a moment or there's going to be an album or there's going to be a song that everybody fucks with. Like the universally puts me at a different space with people. And it will be at that time where they will hear everything else differently. And that's when my catalog will be validated for what it actually is worth. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what the catalog is. You know what I'm saying?
Cheats. 2 things. Cheats. You said something to me today. We was talking about politics, about how we can move content, and I think the same thing could apply for radio in that context. It's like it might be when a certain specific artist fucks with a certain specific song or radios that recirculates that. You know what I'm saying? That then brings people's attention in. Versus a media outlet or a label or anybody else saying, "Hey,
you know what? You're exactly right. You know what I see for again, this is very hard because one, radio is always moving forward, so it's difficult for him to figure out the right, even I guess for lack of a better term, placements, right? Because he's always moving forward. He's always on to the next thing. So he's not going back and saying, this track from this album is real cinematic, right? It should be in a movie or it should be in a commercial, but he should. The interesting thing we're talking about this, that's why I actually love Never Fall Off so much, because there are so many songs on Never Fall Off that I feel like I could see on a movie. In a movie, on a commercial, and it might be something
what attracts me to stuff, and that's why I like that one too.
Yeah, you should. And if you never heard "Never Fall Off" from start to finish, you got.
Oh no, I have. I was saying it. I was just saying that that's like top 3 for me.
And
so you've gone back. Your initial jump off was All Art Ain't Pretty.
All Art Pretty. Okay.
Oh no, my initial jump off and knowing who you were was Whole Foods. And knowing you as a person.
So you threw us. Okay, you threw me for a loop. There. Now I see what you're saying. So he was familiar with the music,
but not the connection. Not the connection.
Right. Something I picked up on in this project with you and Nick that I'm beginning to think this is just going to be what Nick's going to do. Similar to Kane, like when Nick was featured on Kane's project, the transition. It's like he's coming into music now where he just ain't waiting for the hook. He wants to come into music like right off the end. And he did it. I like that transition in y'all's project, y'all song together. And I felt like it was the same thing in the song him and Kane had on Kane's recent project.
I think that was more my design, really just if you notice all the production, and you really probably can't tell unless you're actually looking at the track list where certain songs begin and end, because there's so many beat transitions. There's not one. I don't know if there is one beat.
You was on your Drake. You was on your Drake too. You was definitely on your Drake because
this is it's Don Dubious, man. It's Don Dubious.
It was smart. It was smart.
The beats, the songs, how they are. those
It was smart. It
those
was
tracks were actually arranged that way when I received them.
It was
You know
smart.
what I'm saying?
It was smart. And the other thing that was smart was that you kept the narrative the same throughout the whole project. You made
it's a smart project.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna sound like to a listener like, he manicured this one, like he, you know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. So
yeah, I mean, I would say obviously, I mean, I'm one of the things I think I do very well with albums is sequencing. And I'm very happy with how this album was sequenced. I sequenced this album right when the references were originally done. So the album's been really recorded in sequence since November. And you know,
hold on, what? Say that again.
The album has been recorded in sequence since November
of 21. We're in August of 22.
Yeah.
Yo, how recent was Mike's verse done? Because with the Brittany Griner piece,
brand new.
Yeah, that's why I was like, how is that possible?
That was the only thing in my second verse, or my follow-up verse to Nick's verse. My follow-up verse to Nick's verse and Mike's verse are the only things that were recorded in
Mike did a Kanye. He was like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna get it on this shit.
Yeah, he had that the first half of his verse before the beat switches and he goes into a different flow, that was there in November. And then
when did
he surprised me with the rest. Like I didn't know so
when did you get the Cole Hicks verse? Because that's the one I had to text Cole Hicks after that.
I got that. That was back in like November, December.
Okay, because I had to text Cole Hicks after that, and I was like,
yeah, I mean her silky, like her tone is just so perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy. At first, I was like, "Who is this?" And then even because I'm very familiar with her music, but at first I was like, "Wait a second, who is?" Because I was driving, I wasn't listening, and I was like, then after a second, I was like, "Yo, that's Hicks," and she's killed. Like that was crazy.
Yeah, she floated on there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a great project, man. I hope everybody listens to it.
I think you should do a lot of visuals on this project.
Yeah, definitely need to.
Because this is the thing. This is my opinion, and I need to. I'm not going to. I mean, you can tell me to relax my opinions, but I'm going to share them since we have the ability to communicate with each other. But it's like, I think that you doing visuals to this project will make it even more major because you've said this in your music. You've said in your music before that, and this music kind of has a little bit of tone with it. Like, you don't want people looking at you or coming to you just because they want a cultural anthem or they want something that's woke. You want people to come to you because of the context and the lyrics and everything is there. And this project gives you that. But I think for some people, performing this project is going to be one thing. Having a visual and then having a performance is going to be another thing. And that's my thing because I look at you as artists myself and I say, I expect you to provide music that is at a level of awareness where certain, an older demographic is going to connect with it, but a younger demographic as well. But when you put a visual with it, I think that with this album particularly, because I think that for some people it's gonna, they ain't gonna be able to catch it all. I think that's gonna make the performances even sell that much more, and it's gonna distinguish the difference between other songs that that you may have performed for them. That's my take.
No, I feel that. I definitely feel that. I will make sure.
Like when people.
I owe everybody some visuals because I'm embarrassed to say that there's not one visual for All Art Ain't Pretty. I'm embarrassed to say that. And I had
what's crazy though. Hold on, man. What's crazy about that though is it. All right, I don't want to embarrass myself and make a mistake, but is All Art Ain't Pretty the picture of you on this with the statue? So I don't even think about it not being any visuals because that picture in itself is so visual in my mind right now that's how I connect with that album. So I don't think about there not being visuals. I think about the time that we were in when that project was released, and everything comes back to the monument for me. And the painting and the art wasn't pretty, but it was pretty. And it's like, to me, that was the soundtrack. That I said it in the podcast. That was the soundtrack of that time. And then the mural went up. in that time frame. Am I right with that?
Yes.
You don't need you didn't need too many. I mean, yeah, is that ain't visual enough for me? Because I'm engaged in it.
I think also what helped for me also is I had a brewer session as well for songs on that album. So that kind of sufficed for me.
I think that helped. I think that may have brought some new people into you as well. You know, because AJ definitely is able to attract another audience. So he might have brought some people into you, but that mural and that picture in front of the monument, I put them over the brewer session. The brewer session was dope, but
yeah, for sure.
That picture. I mean, I know that. I'm
just saying all of that together is probably why I wasn't as pressed on. But I had treatment.
Hey, radio. Hey, back to moments though, because if you did that now, a brewer session, it wouldn't be the same moment.
No, I do think that the all art ain't pretty album cover with the visual is that is what people go to. Not to dismiss any of the other stuff. That is the visual for that album, and I think it encapsulates what you created in that project. I mean, I think that I'm.
Hey, if he would have did a video, because I said if he would have did a video at the monument, if he would have did a video at the monument at that time, a lot of people was looking at folks then and saying, "Hey, you pimping the situation right now."
Yeah, I think he did it real classy. I mean, at the time where we were, and the moment that we did, and the project coming out, I thought it is hard to relay those types of emotions in the capture project like that and do it with a level of deference and grace and class. And I thought I think that's all you really needed at that time. Now you may go back, do some different things with it. Again, that's the big challenge, I think, with somebody as that makes as much music as Radio does and does as many things as he does. And it's probably a problem for everybody on this Zoom right now and everybody in the group.
Thinking retrospectively, we don't go back to that place.
We don't go
physically
back,
or mentally.
But I mean, we don't go back to even there are things that I can go back to in just about everybody's discography, right? And say that fits. Rain, I don't know what you're doing over there, Randy. You got an extra Randy pop up.
I'm here.
But I'm saying there's things that I think if we were thinking in a certain type of way, it would be like, oh, this fits even in the context of 2022 this month. That, you know what I mean? That was done in the previous. But I know Radio. He's not thinking about something he did on Sunday Best, even though it might be the perfect moment or the perfect, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
And, yes and no. I mean, there's definitely times where I'm like, but then I don't end up following through because I don't feel like that. I feel like
right, because you're mentally on to even though we know like something will happen. And I think the interesting thing is, like there are things that I think a lot of artists do that if we were thinking a little bit more in that mold, would realize like something Ant dropped, even 5 years ago or Stash 5 years ago, it might just have that right moment. And we're not thinking of like digging that up and making that a thing. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a ton of projects I know I did that never saw the light of day. Tons of like work because we never figured it out. But it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but 5 years from now, it might be the perfect time to be like, oh, we got this thing. And there's a way that we can give it new life or make it live again and type thing. And it's just hard, I think, for artists that are always constantly looking to push the envelope and create forward to do that. But sometimes that might be what we need to make something, like Randy was saying, to make something click. Because I really think, like I said, there's a lot of things that a lot of our peers do that I think are cinematic, that like that could be fitting in movies, fitting in commercials, fitting in things that we could be like, and we have some of the best in Richmond. We have some of the best media companies making, and I mean, a lot of us know a lot of them, but we have some of the best media companies making national products, right? And it's like we just don't know necessarily, or aren't thinking about how do we put some of, not even new stuff, just some of the stuff that fits into those movies, in those commercials, and so in front of the right people at the right time. It's cool. It's interesting to think about.
Right. No, for sure. And I think, I definitely have those moments where I want to go back through and I'm like, I just wish I would have gave this, and I have with all of my projects. But so I want to not do that with this one.
Yeah.
I want to be better about that. I think that's an AGM, I don't want to use the word curse, but that's an AGM consistency. Like, I think we are consistently under visual. All three of us are very under visual. Like we have iconic visuals that we've created and put out. But when it comes to our projects, we under. I think Nick does the best, but I think me and Mike are definitely under visualized. When you look at our catalogs.
Gentlemen, I gotta go. This has been great.
Yes, I gotta cook dinner and walk the dog.
All right,
but I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Lot more album talk. A lot more stop looking for noise talk coming radio all the time.
Thanks.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Congratulations again.